what's up? We're back. We're here back in the shop. We're trying to wrap up these videos for the RC Chili Bowl. Got a lot of things to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, welcome back. Like I said, we're back in the shop. We're trying to wrap all these videos up. Quite honestly, it's been a long week. Have a lot of things going on in the background that I'm really excited to show y'all. It's just that that's kind of taking a lot of my time up, so that's why these videos are so delayed. Now, Chili Bowl, RC Chili Bowl 2024. There's gonna be a lot of talking, so let's just kind of backtrack a little bit. So when I initially signed up for the RC Chili Bowl, the plan was going to Chili Bowl. Then talking to Kevin, and a couple other guys, Robert and them, are always messaging each other like, hey, where we going next, what we doing next. The RC Chili Bowl came up. Now, at the end of the last Chili Bowl, last year we were like, that's it, I'm done, I don't think we're coming back. But then obviously mid through the year, you know, it's a big long span between each time that we start racing or that we already have raced. So time was coming up, like, screw it, I'm signing up. And then at the time for Chili Bowl sign up came up, I already had everything ready, logged in just like everybody else. Boom, logged in, I'm in. Well, then Kevin says, nah, I'm not gonna go, I'm not gonna do it, which is understandable. And then later on, I think as time goes, both him and Kevin were like, him and his dad, Gene, were like, I don't know, I guess, yeah, we should. And I think his dad was even trying to run BMOD. So then they got himself on the waiting list. I already had talked to Kevin and like, hey man, if you don't go, if you don't race, at least if you can, show up whenever you can. I have a house already rented. Come stay, just help me out. I need help videoing, and you know, I need someone there about help me make adjustments because I'll be by myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody else would help me, but it's something that me and Kevin have always done for a long time. So time goes on, everything's ready, and then he's on the waiting list. He decided to get on the waiting list too, and then bam, right at the last minute, it was right there at the end because it was a fine line of he needed to know as well, so like that he can order his tires. Same thing goes for Gene. Gene got in a couple of days before he did, and then he finally got in. And then he gives me a call like, hey, I got in, but I don't have a car. He sold his Midwest mod. So I got you. I have a Midwest mod up here you can use, or hey, let me cut your chassis. But by this time I already kind of have machine figured out and everything. So in excitement, bam, went out, cut the chassis, did a video on it. I think it's on there somewhere. So obviously the process is we use a laser, and these are all off of Silky's machines. People who may not know, unfortunately, about maybe 2 years now, a year, I don't even know. It just seemed like it happened yesterday, actually, but my buddy Silky passed away. Silky was a very interesting person. He was one of those guys that when you first met him, his first impressions maybe didn't kind of rub you the right way, but after you get to know him and he kind of gets to know you, that's kind of what happened with me and him, and then I became part of this group that always raced at Wild Bills. So fortunately, one day we were going up to Abilene to race, and he was been in the hospital. He had some complications. He had to go in and do some work, and then we call and just no way around it. He passed. Then time goes on, whatever, blah blah. I get his machine, and maybe it goes by time. I actually tried to cut some stuff on, and I did, but I kept messing it up, whatever, blah. So then we're back to Chili Bowl. I got it figured out, cut him a chassis. I mean, it looks just like my late model. So I grabbed the file, I got it cut out, laser, make sure everything lines up. Never thought to measure this car. So boom, done. I was supposed to get it together, and we were going to try to go race at a club race at Thompson's to do some last. It was down to the wire. I mean, I only got a couple hours of sleep. I was able to cut the chassis out, put front half, back half of a car. Gave it to Kevin that day. Obviously, we didn't get to run it that day, but he took it home. Over the week, we had about a week's time before we had to leave. Week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I don't remember. And he put it together. Heck yeah. So, obviously, there's a type of front bulkhead that this car uses, and unfortunately, it's not available anymore. It's an AFX front end. But obviously, AFX, people who follow the Dirt Oval or who are involved with Dirt Oval, AFX got bought out by 5-Star. So obviously, 5-Star does, I think they can still make them, but you have to make a big purchase. They won't just make you one. Files, and even now when we ask about it, they don't even know if they have the files. So, but anyways, we have a couple of cars left over that we have access to these front ends. So Gene wanted one. So, yeah, I got you. So between Chili Bowl, that week that Kevin had the car in Chili Bowl, I decided I'm going to make him a chassis, so I'll give it to him at Chili Bowl, and then he'll take it home and he'll put it together, and then we'll have another car of the SJD format that's out there. And the biggest thing is just obviously to keep his legacy going, and then this car that he's cut out, when he first cut it out, Gene had, I don't know who had it, I can't remember, and car would drive like a dream. So obviously, the late model that I have is, I think, maybe one of the last cars that Silky cut. So it's an honor for me to try to do this. So I start cutting away. I cut the chassis out, and I grabbed my late model because now the front end and the back end that I had for the car is with Kevin, so I had to use my car. I even took the front end off the car and I put it on there cool. But then something made me flip the car over and lay the chassis, this cardboard template, on top of it, and we have a problem. So let me show you this clip. It's not a video, but it's a picture. Now clearly looking at this picture, you can see that there's something wrong. If you look close enough, the chassis of my car and the new chassis that I just cut out, there's a big difference in length, about over an inch to be exact. So I immediately text Kevin. This is the actual words that I have. It's like, Houston, we have a problem. And Kevin calls me right away. I'm like, what's up? So I tell him like, hey, the chassis that you have is an inch longer than what it's supposed to be, maybe over an inch. He's like, what? I'm like, and then he already sent me pictures, and the actual pictures that you've seen on the video before is the actual chassis that I gave him. I'm like, cool, you know what? I said, he goes, it's too late, we're going to send it, we're going to try it. So, obviously, you've seen some of the videos that I already put out for the Chili Bowl. I can't say that we did the best. And I think there's a lot of factors. Obviously, there's a lot of human error involved with it. But it was kind of frustrating. And we'll get into that later. But so we're fighting all these issues with our cars. And then we're fighting the SJD chassis. Now, if you're not, some of the tuning options on cars is like you can lengthen or shorten the wheelbase by moving the hubs and the arms, the spacers. So what that does is does two things. So, now this is based off of what other people have told me, based off of what we've learned, reading on articles and stuff. If you lengthen the chassis, it kind of takes entering out and drive off. So per se, if your car is really loose coming in and where it's really like rapid response, one of the big, like let's say it's a higher bite situation, you can lengthen the chassis up to help lengthen the car. So now the pivot point is extended, so it's harder to transfer weight. Meaning, when the car dives into the corner, it's harder to transfer the weight in because it's so long. But coming out, it loosens you lose forward bite because now it's taking forever to transfer to the back. So it's like a vice versa. So if you have a high grip track where you're entering too fast, or let's say you enter fast and then you come out and it just pushes up to the wall, you take traction out the rear, which you can do it by lengthening a chassis or taking droop out. A couple of things, right? So this is the effects of a longer wheelbase. So now the car is over an inch, and the adjustments that we just talked about, you're talking about millimeters. So in true fashion, Kevin drives different than I do. Now I'm thinking now that Kevin's starting, and I'm not saying I drive better, but I think Kevin's now we're kind of almost there in the same spot. Previously, before, he could not drive a car with a lot of rear steer in it, and he couldn't get it to turn. But at the same time, when you add a lot of rear steer coming out of the corner, obviously you can adjust it by one side of the car. It's loose off. So tight in, loose off. That's the way it is. So why is that? Well, because you're so tight, you're turning the wheels for a long period of time. So once you finally get past the middle of the turn, you're still trying to get it through, and then you're on power. But then it finally turns and the rear end grabs, and then you just go around. That's why. So we gave it a good couple of days with this chassis, and he just could not get it to turn. It was loose off. It didn't have no grip. Now, my buddies Kevin and them, everyone has their way of thinking, and Kevin is real conservative, and he doesn't want to make too many adjustments. But at this point, we really had to convince him. We kind of had to look at it from hindsight, from both, hindsight's after, but you look at it like, okay, so if we don't do it, then we're never gonna know. And if we do it, well, you're pretty much starting over, and we're already in the middle of the week, and I think he's using one of his last rounds to try this. So finally, he said, "Screw it, let's do it." So now this chassis is what we call it, the Suburban. Just a little inside joke that we have. So then we're like, well, obviously we have the shorter version of it. That's the Tahoe. So we decided to put that chassis in it. And obviously we had to waste one of his rounds. And I can't remember what it was. I think it was a seeding round. His last practice or something like that. And yeah, so this is his first race with the new chassis. Now, obviously, there's some learning curves to come with the chassis, but let's check it out.
All right, patience at the start, everybody. Go, 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 go. Easy. And we're racing, there we go. Justin Draymar, always quick. Perfect start for him. Third in the front row starting spot here in the first round. Remember, round 2 tomorrow, we invert the start. Bye. Justin, you're going to get a white, pink, and black. Justin, you're coming on the back straight across start finish line. 30 laps to go. Montana 1 and 2, 1 and 2.
All right, so obviously during qualifying round, this is not the time that you really want to do this, but because we decided to wait as long as we did, we went ahead and we knew that this round was going to be a wash. We went ahead, used this time to make the adjustments that we needed for the car. Obviously, when we made the switch from chassis, because it's over an inch, we didn't want to make it too aggressive. So we went ahead and just pretty much swapped the chassis and see what the differences was. Now, the car was actually still kind of tight in, but it was showing grip. So we'll make a couple of stops, make the adjustments, and by the end of the race, the car gets better, which puts us in a better position for round 2. But overall, we're going to have to run the alphabet suit. So it is what it is. We'll take this time and do it, and we'll go from there.
Coming up the arm, Roy. Take it, Roy. Second spot, Phil Johnson. You all right? Okay. Draymond, you're going to leave still. Mike, take it black. We're at 14 to go this time by. Zachary, Jonathan, Jeremy, Steve, Frank, Floyd, Cam, Don. Jonathan with a comfortable lead out there, turns some laps. 11 laps to go. Nine to go that time. Jonathan very much out front. Lee, second to go. They was down the back straightaway. Start finish line. Completing lap number 32. Four laps to go for Draymond. Two laps to go. Again, a white flag this time by for Justin. Cross the line, he goes, race to the finish line, drivers finish the lap you're on. And that is time. Justin Draymond taking it away. Johnson goes to Jeremy, Steve, Bryson, Roy, and Kevin.
All right, so there you go. That was round 1 qualifier. Not necessarily the best scenario for it, but I think we learned a lot. Obviously, hindsight, everything is always easy to say. Should have did it earlier, but you just don't understand. You just don't know. So we already had it. We invested a lot of time in this car, so it was a hard decision, but we did it. So now it puts us in a better position for round 2, which now that he finished dead last, he's obviously going to be swapped over because they're inverted. So it's pretty cool. Makes everybody gives a fair chance to be able to, you know, like in case of Kevin's deal, you had some bad luck. You get an opportunity to start up front or maybe in the middle. Depends where you're at, and try to do it again. So this is round 2. One of the lower qualifier mains, and then check it out.
All right, let's hope this one's better than the last. Take it easy at the start, guys. And go, 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 go. Keep it clean, easy, and we're right there. There we go. Watch it in the back straight. Good save, Don. Watch it going in 1 and 2, 1 and 3 and 4, rather. I got Kevin Lenderman, your leader. Followed by Steve, Dan, and Jeremy. Justin Draymond working his way from the back to the front. Draymond to the point. Justin, Kevin, Steve, Jeremy, Bryson, Jonathan, Roy, Don. Jonathan up a spot. You got 28 to go this time by. Pink and black car, white wheels, your leader. Kevin Lenderman in second. Lenderman down the back further, and then red and black. Followed by Steve Davis in the all yellow. Justin out front, fade away, pink and white, black. Off of turn 2. Job, Jeremy, thank you. Justin, cross start finish line. Got 20 to go. Race 23's up next. Watch your finish line. Justin, your leader, followed by Kevin and Steve. Justin, the pink and white down the third. Thank you, Steve. Justin, Kevin, Steve, Jonathan, Bryce, Jeremy, Ray, Roy, and Don. We're at 12 to go this time by. Watch it in 4. Justin, Kevin, Jonathan down to the 3. Change it around now. Justin, Kevin, Steve, David, next race. Right to go 4. We're at 7 to go this time by. 6 to go here for Justin. Kevin Lemon second. Steve Davidson third. Bryson Polson now right there behind Steve. We're at 5 to go. 4 to go. 3 to go. 2 to go this time on for Justin. White flag lap. Race to the finish line. Finish lap you're on. All stop. All start finish. Justin taking a win. Kevin, Jeremy, Jared, Kevin, Scott, Tommy, Roy, and bye-bye. All right, everybody, let's have some fun here. Race 20 Midwest 5% of our 5-star hobbies. Don't start. All right, take our time at the start, everybody. Go, 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 go. Nice and easy, patient. And we are racing. Here we go. Go, go, go. Watch it off the floor. Watch in the back straight. Oh, back straight. Go low, low, low. Low in the back straight. Low in the back straight. Go low, 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 low. It's clear. I got Tyler Norton out front, leading the way. Followed by Jeremy, Kevin, Jared, Scott, Tom, Roy, Trevor. Race 20 on the track. 21's up next. Tyler, Jeremy, Kevin, Jared, Scott. To go. Get Tyler Norton, your leader. Across the start finish line goes Tyler.
All right, so very exciting. The car is making progress. Obviously, there's a couple of hiccups, but your boy Kev did good. Obviously, for us throughout the week, we struggled a lot with our cars. We had a hard time. The SE mods kind of really frustrates us because it's something that we've done for so long, but yet we didn't race all year. And we'll jump into that here in a minute. But the fact that the car is doing good got us hyped up. Got our little crowd. Obviously, when we pitted all the way to the corner by ourselves. I mean, obviously there's people stop by and stuff, but ultimately we're over there by ourselves. So it boosted the morale up for us there. So with everything going on, we're excited to him to go on to, I think it put him in the lower mains, which was the C main. So this next race is the C main. And unfortunately, our boy Robert's in this race. Robert's a big threat. You know, he's ex-champion at the Chili Bowl. He's got really good people backing him. So we'll see how he does against our boy. Check it out.
March of the 8th. Spread them out, spread them out, spread them out, spread them out. Go, 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 go. Easy. And here we go, we're racing. Watching it, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Dropping in the bottom, 1 and 2. Watch it on the back race. I got Lebanon leading the way. Kevin out front, down the front, through they go. Follow by there, Kevin in that red and black 20. Follow by there, follow by Robert Chapman in that red and green. Up next, we're going to water the cushion. Race 58 is up next. Kevin, Dan, Robert, Jason, Daryl, Scott, Vegan, followed by Trevor, Casey, and Mark. Vladimir, your leader, come down the front straightaway. Watching out the turn 2. Ed Vladimir, Chapman, Van Line, second spot to red and white number 8. Coming off the turn 2, our leader, down the front straight. It's Kevin into 20. He's coming up in there by Stacy. Thank you. The 2 red cars now up front. Red and black, watch that finish line, watch that finish, watch it go lower to 3, lower to 3, lower to 3, lower to 3. Clear. We got 17 to go, 16 now. Vladimir, here, here. On the back straight, across our finish line. Kevin is in second, Dan Ryder, Jason, Daryl, Scott Nicholson, followed by Trevor, Casey, TJ, and Mark. 13 laps to go. Vladimir, your leader, across the line in that 20. He'll be coming down the first straight. Thank you, Casey. Well done. Good work again. We're coming up here on Scott Moment. Second, Bob Robert. Robert about to straightaway back. We got 10 to go. Watch it off at 2. Go low out of 4 now. Track clear. Leader right behind Scott. Second spot to follow Scott. This is second in the red car. Watching it 2. Ollier coming up here in the silver. Thank you, Jason. We got 5 to go. Watching 1. We got 1 and 2. Keep it low, keep it low, keep it low. Jason got second spot behind you. Robert's coming up. Thank you. Oh, Kevin gets it wrong. Here comes Chapman. We got a battle here. We got 2 to go. Watch it in the first straight. Look out, look out. Chapman's car slowing down big time. We're just pedaling it. We got 1 to go. Race to the finish line. Finish the lap they're on. And that is gone.
So now, what a race. You could tell from the video I was excited because I'm telling you, man, it's a long week and it's drainful. Got to see him for the fact that I was able to be part of it and to see the difference in the car, really exciting. Now, for the rest of the Chili Bowl, it's crap for me. Now, I'm not going to be a downer. I'm just saying that I accomplished a goal. I had fun. Made it to the A with the SC mod, but finished dead last. Now, I'm really happy for Kevin this year. He got to win a lower qualifier, so he got a trophy for that. And then he made it to the A main for the SC mod. He's been trying and trying for years to get in there, and last year he missed it by one spot in the B main. So I'm really happy for him, and he was able to work his way up midfield. I'm not really remember what position he finished. I went backwards. I fought the car all week. I think we finally figured out it was really my fault. It was both of our fault, me and Kevin, because we've always preached you don't need power, and then because I don't know when it was last year or whatever, I had a 6100 in it and it worked. Thinking that it was going to work, but it didn't. I pulled the trigger too late. Wasted a lot of time, pretty much. Put ourselves in a bad position. We made it to the A, but the simple fact is there was less cars for SC Mod. So I think if we would have went ahead and changed motors sooner, we would have had better information on the car. We're probably better set up and more comfortable with the cars going to the main, especially me. Now, one of the biggest things about this whole trip was I wanted to have fun, and I did. We would shout out to my boy Austin. Him and his family have a tradition of going to the Chili Bowl every year. I got to meet most of his family there, so we made it there for like 4 races. Some of the last mains in the main, got to watch Kyle Larson flip it in the front straightaway. Then we went to the casino. We had some fun, did some drinking, gambling, learned how to play blackjack. I'm not a big gambler. I was able to sit down at a table and play, and I really enjoyed it. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't race 3 races. I just wanted to have some fun. So this trip was great. And anybody who really is into oval racing and should go, it should be a bucket list race that you do. Obviously, there's more for me that I'd like to attend. But one of the biggest things I can tell you is to go race more tracks with different environment. Now, obviously, here in Dallas, Fort Worth area, all of our tracks end up getting grit at the end of the night. So if the track was to grip up, it was a different story, I believe. In a little bit. Sense of way. I'll explain here in a minute. Now, one of the biggest things I could do for myself is start traveling south. Houston, San Antonio, and then go south over there to my boys at 956. Over there is loose dirt. I'm not used to it. Plus, I hadn't raced all year. Not excuses, but it's just a fact. So if you really want to go be successful there, put some drive time in, do some different tracks, get acclimated to what you need to do for suspensions and stuff. One of the biggest deals too is just have some fun. Also, shout out to all the guys who made it to the A main, especially in the SEMA, where a lot of Texas guys, Robert and them, did very well too in some of the other classes. It was fun. Now, one of the downs about this whole situation with the Chili Bowl this year was the track. It's kind of discouraging to hear that we don't have time. So if we don't have time, that means they have less time to put on the track. So the track got really dusty. And so if you get out of the groove just a little bit, so if I was to try to get out of the way for somebody or anybody try to get away from me, as soon as you get up in the fluff, just a little bit, you're going around. If you look at Chili Bowl across the street, they do everything they can to make better track conditions to meet a racing night. Well, if we're really worried about time, I think we need to lower entries or just eat it up, start earlier or something. But I think track conditions could have been better. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a great effort on the track crew, always. But I know a couple of years ago we had the same situation and we swept. People brought it up. I know for a fact. I'm not saying it went ignored, but I think we could have brushed it. People volunteered to do it, but it didn't do it. So it's just kind of annoying to see the fact that we're rushed, worried about time. If we're worried about time, then lower the entries. Do what you can to make the track racier. Or even, why is it so long? Make it narrower where you can actually run the groove because you got 10 feet that's not even being used. So, just my opinion. But either way, I had fun. It's all about having fun. But those are just my opinions. So, what's next? I really enjoyed what the aspect of being involved in building something. So I think that's what we're going to start doing, and we've been doing. So that's like I mentioned earlier, we have been backed up on these videos for the simple fact that I already recorded some other audio stuff. I mean, video stuff, other episodes. So we do have a series coming up, a build. I really like to attend more races this year, but at the same time, I have a full-time job, and I'll do what I can. I'm going to try to travel the most I can. So the goal is to go ahead and build some cars. Pretty much every single car you see back here will be revamped. My late model will stay. It is sentimental to me. It's something that Silky built for me. So I'm going to keep it as is. But everything else is getting rebuilt. The SC mod is going to get stripped of its electronics. So we can go ahead and revamp this SC mod based off of everything that we learned with this previous car that we just did for the Midwest mod. So that's pretty much it. I didn't really do a very good job this year of filming. Like I said, I wanted to have some fun. We did. I had a GoPro and then it disappeared on me. So if anybody picked up a GoPro 9 and it has some video clips in it, it's mine. And if you see it, let me know. Much appreciated. If not, it is what it is. So in the future here in the cameras, for us in the shop, we're going to set up cameras here so I can try to do a little bit better job of explaining a lot of things. The next videos that you'll see will still be from my phone, but from here on out, after I think the last video of the build that's coming up will be on the different cameras, and try to do the best I can to provide information that, from what I hear, is not really available. So, I mean, I don't have all the information. I don't know everything, but I'm going to try my best. But there it is. It was a very long story for this SJD stuff, but the chassis. But I feel there was like big gap because it was part of the other videos, and I just wanted to explain. So on these chassis, just to let you know, Silky started putting serial numbers on them. So this is number 1 for 2024. Kevin now has the Tahoe, which is the number 2. And then there's a number 3 already that we've just completed. And you'll be seeing the videos coming up very, very soon. So that wraps up Chili Bowl 2024 for us. It was fun. It was great. Thank you for everybody who stopped by and said hi. Yeah, any comments, questions below? You know, I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. I am working up on setup sheets for my late model and for what we currently just built. So that's it. Once again, thank you for watching. Please, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everybody watching and coming back and all the follows. But let's try to grow this channel a bit bigger. We'll start putting some more time investment into this thing. So let's get out there and have some fun. We'll see you on the next one.